Do you want to risk in the name of the adventure, or you prefer to complete your next trip successfully? If you pick the first option, to risk in the name of the adventure, there is nothing I can do for you. But if you decided that you would like to finish your trip with a minimum as possible problems, keep watching, because in this video I'm gonna tell you how to do it. Welcome back. There are two types of people. The first are like me, calm and logical people that want to finish the trip successfully, and the second group is people who love the risk. They love the adventure. They always ride with the idea to make some kind of adventure. And their, I will say, race or competition mind pushes them to their limits, and sometimes this could be even dangerous. But on the other hand, the risk is the salt of life, right? I will agree that the risk is the salt of life, but this is not something that I will recommend doing when you're on a long motorcycle trip far away from home. Because the risk is going to be greater than the actual reward that you're gonna have from this experience. But that it's me. This is how I think. For many people, the risk and the adventure are always on the first position. You have to know that just because you don't take unnecessary risk or you don't look for adventure does not remove them from the equation. They're still there. It doesn't matter that you don't see them or you never plan them. On a motorcycle trip, there are so many unknowns or possible risky moments that you don't have to look for them, because they will find you one way or another. Even if you ride only on the asphalt, in perfect weather conditions, the situation may change in a second. A little sound on the road, or car in your line, and bam! And you're going into this survival mode. Even though I'm very balanced, calm and logical rider, the situations that I have faced during my trips without even looking for adventure were so many that I will need I don't know how many hours to explain them all. Anyway, this might be a topic for another video. Let's now focus on the tips that I have promised. Number one, make a good plan in advance. And it has to be realistic, made for you, for your riding skills, and the type of the motorcycle that you have at the moment, the one that you're gonna use on this specific trip. It will be much better to underestimate instead of overestimate yours and your motorcycle possibilities. A good plan starts before the trip with routing, preparations, maintenance, and then continues during the trip with all the necessary aspects, and of course finish when you get back home safe in one piece. Make changes only if they are absolutely necessary, they will add value or will help you to complete the trip successfully. Especially if you have a limited time and money. And as you know, most of us are always like that. You might be a little confused here, so let me clarify it for you. When I said don't make any changes if they are not necessary, I don't mean that you have to stick exactly on the same line, to ride exactly the roads that you planned earlier, or to stay in the hotels that you planned. No, I'm talking about the basic plan that you have for the whole journey. So you have these 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 3 months, and you plan to go from point A to point B. This is the basic plan. This is what you have to follow very strictly during your trip. Because if you change the basic plan, it's going to be a different trip. But it doesn't mean that you cannot make some correction here or there. Don't get me wrong. And for those of you who claim that they travel without any plans, I have another video on this topic and you can watch it here if you haven't already. Number two, ride a motorcycle that you can afford and you can control. Buying an expensive machine might limit your trips a lot. For example, if it's not on your name because it is on leasing, you pay monthly payments for it, you might not be able to cross some borders, or at least it will require different type of documents. Or because it is too expensive, it will be difficult for you or almost impossible to leave the asphalt roads because you are afraid that you might drop it and damage something, and then the insurance is not going to cover it as before. So many different options or obstacles like that might limit your adventures. Learn how to ride it properly, on and off-road, in any kind of riding conditions. Hot, cold, rain, muddy, sand, gravel, anything. You don't have to become an expert, but at least to know some basic techniques. If necessary, take some riding courses. They will help you to improve your riding possibilities a lot. If it's too big and heavy for you, or maybe too small because of your size, change it. But don't let anyone to tell you what is the best option for you. Learn and practice how to do a basic maintenance at home and when you're on the road. If your motorcycle is too complicated, and for anything, even the oil change requires a company software or specific tools, my advice is just change it. Now you might say, Pavlen, hold on for a second. You promised a simple tips and now you're telling me to change the motorcycle? Is this the video that you promised? Hold on, calm down. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm giving you a simple system that works. But it will be your decision to use it or not. It will be your trip, your journey, your motorcycle, your time and your money. Number 3, don't risk more than you can handle. Especially if the risk that you plan to take won't bring anything meaningful into the plan. Just because someone did or rode this track does not mean that you'll be able to do it as well. Don't risk the whole plan for a moment fun or a nice picture on social media. This won't make you happy, but if you have a crash accident or if you break your motorcycle in the middle of nowhere, you will definitely remember it forever. You might consider it as an adventure, but in my opinion, it's going to be only bad experience or bad moment that you will remember for many, many days and years after that. Number 4, ignore the doubts and stick to the plan. It is absolutely normal to have some doubts. Keep in mind that when you're traveling, your brain and your body work in different mode or some kind of stressing mode. And the decisions that you took at home and the decisions that you can take when you're on the road might be completely different. That's why I suggest ignore the doubts and stick to the plan. This will help you to complete it successfully. You can always improvise or make changes to the plan if they are necessary. For example, if your health or your motorcycle condition does not allow you to continue traveling, of course you will change the plan. You always have to keep in mind the end result and what is best for you. In my opinion, as I said so many times, mission or the plan is priority number 1, but it doesn't mean that if I don't feel well or if the motorcycle is broken, I'll continue traveling. There will be another time and there will be another moment, but nothing worth more than your life. And the last tip, number 5, is don't relax until you get back home. The end of the trip is when you turn off the ignition at your home, in your garage. Before that, any kilometer is equally important or risky as any other before that. Just because you completed the main goal of your trip, it doesn't mean that you finished. For example, the main goal of my trip last year was to reach Magadan. But from Magadan to Varna were another 20,000 kilometers. So never relax until you turn off the ignition at home. And the less kilometers you have left, the easier it's going to be to make a mistake. Because you get loose and relax. And you said, yeah, it's another 100, another 200. Last year, when I was coming finally, the final 50 kilometers before home, I felt it like I was such a nervous. And finally, when I reached the sign Varna, for the first time from many years, I felt, wow. When I remember where I was and where I came, man, it was such a great experience. Anyway, I hope that this video will help you at least one person to make the right decisions, to make the right choice. Press like or dislike, whatever it deserves. If you want to watch my travel videos, you can do it on my second channel, Motorcycle Adventures Live. On my third channel, Motorcycle Adventures Live Streams, I upload only live streams once per week. Anyway, keep watching and see you next time. Ciao.